I know this is not the news a lot of you were expecting, okay, but unfortunately this is going to come as bad news to a lot of you who are actually looking to come here to the UK and potentially bring your dependents over. What does this actually mean for you? Obviously, these proposals that they are mentioning are actively being discussed, okay, and it is likely that they will actually push on with either at least one or two or even all of these proposals that I've mentioned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, it was just back in October last year that Suella Braverman actually came up with some rather drastic proposals to actually limit the number of students who could actually come to the UK with their dependents. Now again, less than 48 hours ago, this same woman has actually struck again, okay, with some rather drastic plans and proposals which will really affect a vast majority of immigrants actually coming to the UK and also those who are already in the UK potentially. What I'm going to be doing is through this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the details of the proposals, what I think is likely to come about from it, and also what other steps I think you might want to think about doing. For those of you who are new here, my name is Tess, and on this channel I share a lot of useful information for those who are looking to relocate to the UK. So if that sounds like content you'd like to see more of, then do make sure you give this video a like, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and be sure to turn on your notification bell so that you're always aware every time a new video goes live. So since the initial proposal last year was made, okay, it appears that the government have indeed been having conversations regarding whether or not this is going to go on, and through this they have actually been having conversations regarding making other changes as well, which is going to affect quite a lot of people who are looking to come to the UK. Now, as a result of this, there's some new proposals which have been discussed, and some of them have even been agreed between the UK government and the Home Office already. I'll be discussing all of them with you in this video, so please do make sure you watch this video from the start to the end, because there are a lot of proposals that's likely to affect you or indeed your dependents who are looking to actually come into the UK. So under the very first proposal points, she actually plans to reduce the length of time that foreign students can stay in the UK following the completion of their studies. Now, we know that the situation as it is that international students that have studied in the UK can actually stay in the UK for up to 2 years, okay, without actually having to get a job in that particular 2 years. Now, with the new proposal, what she's saying is that this time limit would actually be reduced to 6 months, and in that time, students would actually have to obtain a work visa by getting a skilled job, or indeed they would be required to leave the UK, okay? As you can imagine, the reactions to this have actually been quite mixed, no doubt. You know, on one hand, the Department of Education are actually saying that this is likely to actually reduce the attractiveness of the UK to international students. However, on the other side, there are other government sources who have actually backed this plan, okay, by saying that the graduate visa is increasingly being used by students on short courses from less respectable universities. Okay, so they are saying that it's being used as a backdoor to the immigration route. Okay, some of the other things that they've actually mentioned, and this is the next proposal that they're stating, is that they would actually make sure that foreign students would only be able to bring dependents with them if they were on a postgraduate research course such as a PhD, or indeed if they were studying a postgraduate course for at least 2 years. Now, another proposal that came up from this is the fact that they would ban foreign students from actually switching over to the work visa until they had actually completed their studies here in the UK, okay? Bear in mind that the government have already set a target to actually reduce the number of foreign students here in the UK from what it currently is, which stands at about 680,000 to 600,000 by the year 2030. So obviously these proposals that they are mentioning are actively being discussed, okay, and it is likely that they will actually push on with either at least one or two or even all of these proposals that I've mentioned in a bid for them to succeed with cutting down the migration levels. Okay, we know that this is not the first time that Braverman has brought up this point. We know that immigration is something that the current UK government are keen on reducing. Okay, they keep talking about the fact that there are a lot of foreign students and their dependents who come from a mix of different countries, okay, including Nigeria being at the very top of the list, and also India, and a lot of them are bringing their dependents and settling into the UK, and this is just causing a lot of chaos within the Conservative Party. Now, I've already said before in some of my previous videos that the Conservatives have actually always had it on the top of their list to cut down migration. This is not something that is particularly new, although in this particular instance it is quite shocking that they are going to such levels to actually cut down migration by taking such drastic measures that will really impact a lot of international students, including those who potentially are already here and those who are even looking to come. All of this obviously depends on what proposals they decide to push on with, and again, when exactly they decide to actually make each and every one of these single proposals live and in law. Okay, I know this is not the news a lot of you were expecting, okay, but unfortunately this is going to come as bad news to a lot of you who are actually looking to come here to the UK and potentially bring your dependents over. What does this actually mean for you? This is going to mean that for a lot of you who are actually looking to come to the UK, unless you are studying postgraduate research courses, unless you are looking to do a PhD like they've rightly said, okay, with a minimum of 2 years on that course, it's likely that you're not going to be able to actually bring your dependents with you when you're coming to study here in the UK. So this is something to really bear in mind before you think about coming to the UK. Now, I know a lot of people typically come to the UK to do their masters, for instance. Now, it's unlikely, based on the proposals that are being discussed, it's unlikely that if you're coming here to do your masters, you may not potentially be able to bring your dependents with you, as is currently the case. Now, obviously, under the proposal for them to actually reduce the length of time which students can stay in the UK from 2 years to 6 months following the completion of their studies at a university in the UK, this is going to be quite drastic for a lot of people and come as quite a shock, okay, because we all know that the UK job market is very competitive. I mean, being forced to actually look for a job and get a job in just 6 months, given the current economic circumstances, surely this is something that's quite unreasonable, and hopefully they don't go along with this particular proposal, because it will mean that if you're unable to actually secure a job within that 6 months time, then unfortunately you will have to go back to your country. So guys, I know this has been quite a lot for you guys to take in, and I really appreciate that. I also appreciate that this is the start of a new year, and this is probably not the kind of news that we were expecting, unfortunately, but I think it's also useful for you guys to bear this in mind as you start to think about what plans you might want to be making if and when they do actually go ahead with any one of these proposals that I've mentioned in this video. Okay, so do make sure you're considering alternative plans, alternative means and routes that you may be looking at coming to the UK. So feel free to leave some comments down in the comment section down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think is going to actually happen following the release of this news, and where you think that the UK government might actually be heading with regards to all of this. Okay, so if you have any further questions at all, please also make sure you leave them for me in the comment section below. Do make sure you share this video with anyone else you think might benefit from it, as it has a lot of really useful and important information that needs to get across to a lot of people. By the way, if you're looking for resources on how to relocate to the UK as a permanent resident and other useful tips on how you can gain visa sponsorship jobs here in the UK, then please do make sure you check out at the selection of videos here. I also have a second YouTube channel right over here where you can get more information regarding my personal experiences of my life here in the UK and all other valuable information that I share from time to time with my audience on that channel. If you'd like to learn more and subscribe to that channel, then the link to that can be found down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.